Hey, hey, hey. It's the Raiders Unleashed show. What's good? What's good? Appreciate whoever's in the building, whoever's not in the building. Man, I apologize. Had some family issues that came up right before I went live. So had to take care of those. Well, they're not taken care of yet. Still an issue, but appreciate everybody who came back, who everybody who comes back, and who everybody will come back or watch this live. Um, the Raiders have some issues. We all know, right? Many, many issues inside this organization between the coaches, the roster, the competition on the roster. But are there bigger issues at hand, right? Upper management, people not in upper management, people that have been in places for possibly way too long and should possibly be replaced. We're going to break all that down. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a little bit about Bill Belichick and some rumors and some possibilities that most of the nation is probably not going to want to hear about. Um, Also, Antonio Pierce has some things to say. We're going to talk about that. That'll be another topic. We're going to talk a little bit about ownership, not just the Raiders ownership, but other ownerships, and why I think that the Raiders need to do some things before anything gets better. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. It has nothing to do with the offensive line. I mean, yes, that is part of the problem, but until the bigger problems get fixed, I don't think it matters who we bring in. As we seen, right? Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, these guys should be putting up crazy numbers, blowing people out of the water. Instead, Brock Bowers is a bottom of the barrel tight end right now. Um, because we can't seem to find a way to get him the ball. So there's some things that need to be changed, some things that need to be worked on. We're going to talk about them. We're going to break them down. Sorry about the new format. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, I apologize, but let me know so we can move on from it. Also, of course, we're going to talk about some coaching, some coaches, some coaching decisions. And then, last but not least, Tom Telesco. We'll get into that. I know you're wondering, Tom Telesco. That'll be the last. So stick around. Don't stick around. Rewatch it however you want to do it. But man, appreciate everybody in the building. Let me get back to see if anybody's in this chat. Greg Brewer, what's good? What it do, my guy? Appreciate you. Unleashed Raider, appreciate you as well. Chris, I don't know if you're still here, but I appreciate you popping in. If you are, appreciate it. If you're not, appreciate you popping in earlier, man. Um, First off, can everybody hear me? After I rambled on for 20 minutes. I was having some issues before we started with the. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I'll wait. I'll give you a second. um, Everything is not okay. It might be um, a rough holiday for some family members in my family. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go too involved. Um, I hasn't shown this started yet. Appreciate you, Bills fan in the building. Thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you. Dusty Oreo, what's good? What's good? What's good? So we'll get right with first topic. First topic at hand. Bill Belichick, but not only Bill Belichick. There have been reports and rumors because Belichick has said he wants nothing to do with the NFL. He's happy where he's at. Um, and I don't think the NFL would put up with the tactics that happened on the sideline between him and his little girlfriend. For one, I think that would be a major, major problem. But when Geno Smith gets away with flipping fans off that support, the NFL, and there wouldn't be an NFL without the fans. When people get away with shit like that, it's possible that he could get away with having his 24-year-old girlfriend on the sideline at NFL games. But with that being said, on the other hand, Belichick has been rumored. Some teams want to bring him in, want to pick his brain. I'm sure more than likely just pick his brain, right? Who would you hire? Where would you go? But I mean, I don't know why they couldn't call him and ask him that over the phone. Um, but there are reports that two teams and then one behind the scenes are very, very interested in bringing Bill Belichick, former Patriots, 6 Super Bowl championship, Belichick head coach, also the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels at the moment. Started off a little rough, still, pretty rough around the edges. But he says he's happy where he's at and he's not planning on going anywhere. But there has been reports and rumors that saying there are NFL teams that are interested, and the Raiders could possibly be one. I don't know how many people do know a man that's been in the building, Amy Trask, you know, the Queen of Darkness, right? Amy Trask is a goat in this franchise, in the Raiders, Raider Nation, in the organization. Um, but Amy Trask brought up a very, very interesting topic and said there is a problem in the building, and it starts at the top. And the man's name is Jim Gray. Now, I've talked about Jim Gray on this channel before, when the Brady thing was going on, when the head coaching thing was going on. He's the one that, has a lot to do with hooking up head coaches with GMs, right? So um, he's been involved in a lot of situations. But before the great Al Davis died, God rest his soul, rest in peace, Al Davis. Um, Before he passed away, this man was in the process, according to Amy Trask, on trying to get people to be minority owners in the Raiders organization because they have had flaws in the past and they were, rumors are, a broke organization, right? So Amy Trask spoke on it and said, this man, Jim Gray, has been in the building for a long, long time, and he could be the cancer in the building. He has a lot more say than a lot of people do believe in the building, and he's one of the main people, I guess, talking to Mark Davis, in Mark Davis's ear, other than Tom Brady. Where does this all get in? Where does it all fit in? Well, Jim Gray and Bill Belichick have a show together, a podcast that they do every week where they talk football, they talk other things, right? So these guys, very, very, very close. Also, Tom Brady has been a part of this podcast, um, many times, and I do believe, correct, I could be wrong, but I do believe was a host of it at one time. So there's a lot of connections between Jim Gray. There's a lot of connections between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Now, there's a lot of sources out there, in rumors that say Belichick and Brady don't like each other. I mean, he was at the man's roast. He roasted the dude. I don't think he would come out there and do that if he didn't have, a pretty close relationship with Tom Brady. So, just something to watch out for. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about it. Drop your comments below. If you watch this video later, drop your comments then. I reply to all my comments. For everybody in the building, do me a favor, double tap the screen. I don't know if it works on here. I don't know if I'm on the long feed. This is a new setup for me. And can I change it during the thing? No. So I can't change it during the live. I'm stuck with this until I'm done talking and rambling on. I'll get to the chat in a minute. I appreciate anybody in here, but if y'all could give me a like, I appreciate it. Had to throw that out there. So yeah, let me know how you feel about the Belichick thing. But Jim Gray could be a problem. I think this man has a lot of say on what goes on in the organization. According to Amy Trask, has a lot of say with personnel, um, coaches, staff, right? So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Leave your comments. Like I said, the next topic, we'll get to that. What we got? Salute to the family. Yes, yes. Make sure I don't blow it. Bills fan in the building. Appreciate the Bills fan as always. Dusty Oreo, been a member for 8 months. Damn, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this family. God, we're in the South. We are good with coaches. We don't want Bill Belichick. I don't want Belichick either, bro. I'm just saying. Pay attention because it's going to be a rumor that's floating around and it could have, you know, some kind of backing to it, right? Some rumors are just smoke, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So usually where around me where there's smoke, there has to be fire. So I'm just saying, hey, brother David here. Invest in the pink market. Hopefully, trading only price value. Okay. Arnie Garza in the building. What questions you got for me today? I know you got some. All right, here we go. Questions. What are your expectations for Olson as OC? And better or worse? The same as Chip. Well, my guy, first off, I'm glad you brought that up, Arnie Garza. I'm glad you're always in the building because you always make this show fun, and I appreciate you when you're here. Um, so, number one, Pete Carroll has never clarified so far that Greg Olson was going to be the OC. His exact words twice. He said Greg Olson will take over the play calling duties, and him and the guys will be working on a plan for Sunday. Matter of fact, they're working on it now. And he said, so Greg Olson will be the OC. He said, we haven't got that far yet and broke all that down, but Greg Olson will be calling the plays. So there's a question in that. However, if Greg Olson is the OC, I don't know how much he's going to have of say, right? Pete Carroll said he did give Chip Kelly a lot of leadway, and it didn't work out, so we let Chip Kelly go, right? How much leadway is he going to give Greg Olson, a guy that, has 13 years calling plays, being a quarterback coach, knows a lot of offense, been in a lot of good offensive systems, been a part of some playoff systems. So definitely knows his way around the offense, can definitely scheme up some good offense here and there. But how much rope is he going to get? How much is he going to be a yes man? Because to me, in Pete Carroll's press conference, he said, Greg Olson knows me better than anybody, not the team, right? And I talked about this the other day, so if I sound like a repeat, I apologize. But he said, Greg Olson knows me more than anybody on the planet, and it's good to be able to have a guy like that on the staff that we could just rely on because he knows me inside out better than anybody. So basically, Greg Olson is the guy calling plays, but I think behind the scenes, we all know it's going to be Pete Carroll. I heard we'll get to that later, but um, so I still think Pete Carroll's going to have way more of a hand in calling plays than a lot of people are led to believe. Some of us know, what's going on. Some of us feel we know what's going on, but I think that's a big part of it, and I think it's a big part of um, what's been going on with this team, from the start. But Greg Olson has been known to, if he gets his way, I think he'll run kind of you know, more of a power scheme, which I think will definitely benefit not only Ashton Genty but this offensive line. Right? They can go out, they can hit somebody. There's no one guy going this way and one guy going this way. It'll be direct, right? The game plan, unless they move a guy around and you're not smart enough to realize, okay, that guy on the next level, once I got this guy, I got this guy, I got this guy. And if you put guys in one-on-one positions, you find out what kind of offensive linemen you got, right? You find out if these guys are meant to be offensive linemen or if they're just guys that can only run a zone and they're only good when they're double teaming. Because as far as I can see on this offensive line, we're not even good at that, right? We can't even double team. And every time we do try to, run a zone, inside zone, outside zone, either way it is, there's always somebody coming free, completely free, and there's nobody there to pick them up. So I hope maybe they change up this scheme, right? And Greg Olson, from what I've known, is with the Raiders, right? When you had guys like I don't know if he was even here then, but guys like, Gabe Jackson and Hudson, and was he even there on those teams? I don't know for a fact, but when you have physical linemen, right, physical running backs, I think it'll help Genty. I think it'll help this offensive line, and it'll help the coaches pick through it, right? If this guy's getting beat one on one, you know who to blame it on, right? PFF knows who to grade. You can't be like, oh well, we think that the blocking scheme was supposed to go to the right, but how come three people went right and two people went left, and they're colliding into each other? So if you could just clean up the offensive line, and I think if Greg Olson has any say in it, he will change some things, right? He will change some things, some personnel things, but I don't know if Pete Carroll will let him. So to answer your question, 5 hours later, um, if he gets his way, I think it'll help this team a lot. I think it'll help the run game. A little fact. Damn it. I don't know if I still. Oh, fuck. I have this playing on my phone. Um, a little known fact. Greg Olson was the OC with pretty much every Raiders tight end that, you know, that ever did shit or had 1,000-yard seasons or close to, right? A bunch of targets. I don't know the exact stat. So just know that Brock Bowers will be a winner if he gets, if Greg Olson gets to call the plays the way he wants to, if he's the one making the scheme. But from what I heard from Pete Carroll, it sounds like the guys, which means more than likely it's going to be Greg Olson, Pete Carroll, Nate Carroll, and Brendan Carroll that are going to be putting this offense together. And that's what I get from it. So if that's the case, I don't see Greg Olson helping out at all. But if he does get his way, if he does get his say, and Pete Carroll's like, I'm going to lean on you to fix this offense. With the personnel, I don't know how much he can do, but it's going to look better. I guarantee you, it's going to look better. Brock Bowers is going to get the ball a lot more. Michael Mayer is going to get the ball a lot more. Ian Thomas, Justin Shorter. What's for dinner? I ate dinner a long time ago. Cowboys are back. This is our year. I said after they beat the Raiders, man, that defensive line is nasty, and they got a chance to go a long, long way. What is the difference between Jimmy G, Minshew, or Geno Smith? Um, Geno Smith makes 3 times more than all of them. That sucks to say, bro. Yeah, Geno Smith makes a whole lot of money, and I would take Jimmy G and Gardner Minshew if I had to pick any day of the week. I mean, damn, you seen Gardner Minshew in the Wildcat for Kansas City. you seen you seen Gardner Minshew, run the whole second half against the Raiders, no turnovers. Right? I'm just saying, that's a joke, right? Some of y'all may know he didn't pass the ball one time; they just ran it down our throat. Do you think Timmy Nuff Knuckles is a funny name or Billy Badass? Um, I like Timmy Tough Knuckles. It's kind of long, but it's got a ring to it. Just saying. What do you think about signing a fullback? Come on, man. You should know, Arnie Garza. Do you? Please tell me you listen to what I'm not. Just kidding. Um, what I think about signing a fullback plus an extra O line as a tight end. Call more plays under center. Genty 25 carries per game. Again, if Greg Olson gets his way, I think there will be a lot more plays under center. We've ran like 80% of our plays out of the gun or out of the short gun, pistol, whatever the hell you want to call it. Ohio State last year did the same thing. They ran. Ohio State last year did the exact same thing. 89% of the time they were in the gun. They even ran 22% out of the gun with two running backs. So that's Chip Kelly's MO. I don't think I know it's not Greg Olson's MO. So if Pete gets his way this time, he's got nobody else to blame. That's all I know. Um, but I believe, yeah, a fullback. We've seen a lot of teams start to go back to the fullback, and those teams have a solid power running game. But not only do they have a solid power running game, they also have a very high percentage on short yardage, goal line, first down, for first in or first and three, second and three, third and three, short line. Their percentage is a lot higher. So if you have a fullback, it opens up lanes, right? And if you're running a zone scheme, in my opinion, you should have a fullback because if you got guys double teaming, there should be a guy to be able to pick up that open man. And if the Raiders had a fullback, there wouldn't be Gino getting hit so many times by a late blitz, and they do the sneaky ghost blitz or whatever, shadow blitz, whatever you want to call it. There's a million names for it, but when guys are disguising blitz and coming late, it didn't sound right. Blitzing late, it's a problem. But if you have a fullback, it's not as big of a problem, right? Another O line. I would like to see the O line we have, Arnie Garza. I would like to see more of. Um, I would like to see a lot more of Dalton Wagner. I would like to see what Caleb Rogers has at this point. I would like to see what Charles Grant has at this point. I would like to see what Mafi has even at this point. I think we've seen, what Will Putnam has, and after 2 years on the practice squad, he's just not quite ready, or it's just not the right scheme. Which I don't want to blame Will Putnam because nobody on this offensive line has been prepared. I mean, JPJ struggled, Colton Miller struggled, everybody struggled when they were healthy. Dylan Parham continues to struggle. He did have a good game last week and a couple good games, but a lot of the time he struggled too. So we all know it's the offensive line. Coaching is the scheme. So I want to see some of these guys. I want to see all of these guys in a different scheme, not name Alex Kappa. Yeah, I know you got one more year, and yeah, I know you're doing anything for the team, you know, but I want to see what we have in the youth. It's time to find out what we have in these guys, and do we need to draft more linemen? Do we need a first round pick in the offensive line, right? Or can we say, damn, let's go defense, 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 and get a quarterback, and take a top offensive line next year in the draft if these guys don't pan out next year. I believe that's the way to go. But who am I? I'm just a fan. Um, by the way, on the phone, at least iPhone, your background comments are being mobile comments, and it's what? What are you talking about? Oh, this comment. That one. My bad. My bad. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm just slow. Get to the thing. What's good? What's good? Product. Product. How are you? How are you? Appreciate you popping in. El Capitan. Raf in the building. Y'all go check out my guy. If you can't understand what I'm saying and you speak Spanish, he's your man. He's your man. Always got the fire content. Question: do we have a chance to beat the Giants? Anyone else out of the remaining schedule? Can we beat or finish 2-15 or 3-14? Um, I would rather 2-15. Right? I've talked about this probably more than people wanted me to talk about it. I didn't want the Raiders to be in the middle. I said I would rather if we can't win 10 or 12 games, I would rather us win two, right? Or zero. Like, I know that sounds horrible, but it doesn't help us to be mid level like we were with Derek Carr year in and year out, right? 7-9, 6-10, 7-8, whatever, right? This over and over and over again with Derek Carr. We were just in the middle, and then we got middle of the pack picks, or sometimes we didn't even have first picks, and when we did, they were the good lord. Here's the problem with this: some teams are going to start to get closer to clinch their playoff berth and might not play all their starters. this team can't just keep going and going and going and losing. They gotta win one by accident, right? You gotta fuck around and fall into one eventually. You just can't keep continuing to be this bad. And when people start to see people get fired, it might fire some people up. It might piss some people off. It might kick some people in the ass and let them know it's time to go, right? It's time to go. We're not here to tank. We're not worried about the first round pick. We're trying to lay it out on the field. And I think that's Pete Carroll's mentality. And I think that's what he's trying to, preach in the building. I just don't know if it's working with the favoritism with Gino and, some of the other guys that haven't had to compete for their jobs. Will putting them being put in at center, moving, you know, moving Jordan Meredith back to the guard spot, which everybody wanted him to be at in the first place, and JPJ play center. We couldn't change it around for them to be wrong. But now all of a sudden with JPJ hurt, they can change it around to be wrong. So there's a lot of problems in this building with this coaching staff. And it all starts with Pete Carroll. So 3-14, probably more likely, is the case, but that's getting lucky. That's getting lucky. Now, there is that chance, like I said, that they get kickstarted, that maybe Pete Carroll is like, okay, let's listen to Greg Olson, see what he has to do. And maybe, maybe it all comes together for a game. Maybe Gino gets benched for a game for flipping everybody off. And Kenny Pickett or Aiden O'Connell comes in and makes this offense look like a NFL offense, right? There's a lot of players on this team that could come in and help this team win some games. Now, if Pete Carroll starts to play those guys, our defense is competed. Any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday. And I know this is the worst team in football. At least it looks like the worst team in football. But if you still have guys that are willing to fight and you're going up against other teams like the Giants that might be packing it in already, right? There's a possibility you win those games. There's a possibility you win those games. Evidently, the Cleveland Browns haven't given their season up. They're 3 games out of first place. I don't know how that even sounds right. They're 3-9, and they are 3 games out of first place. Is that even possible? At least that's what I heard. F the Chargers, I think we need a miracle to win the game Sunday. But after Chip Kelly is gone, now the offense and defense can make a difference. I don't know if Chip Kelly being gone is going to help the defense make a difference. I think Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham, as you can tell, every time Patrick Graham talks in his press conference, he tries to make the offensive coaches look bad, and he does a very good job of saying what other teams do that we do not, that they do well and exploit well that we do not. So yeah, man, I think the defense it's up and down. Nobody wants to tackle. There was so many times in this game, and I was gonna do film breakdown today, but with all the shit that happened, I'm not gonna stay on that late tonight. So yeah, man, beat the Chargers. I don't know. They have a beat up offensive line. They've been struggling as of late also. Can we go 1-1 with the Chargers? Will that save Pete Carroll's job? Will it turn around the fans? Possibly the sheep, right? A lot of the sheep fans might be like, oh my God, the Raiders are back. We beat the Chargers. And that might be good enough for some of the casual fans that, just want to see us win one game and don't really care about the season or the draft or rebuilding this team or fixing the holes in this team by not winning. So maybe, like you said, with Chip Kelly being gone, maybe it fires this team up. There's been some talks in coming out of the locker room, from the locker room, that a lot of the people in the building were not happy with Chip Kelly. We're not happy with his play calling. And he could have been having some bias to the rookies, right? JPJ, Ashton Genty. But I look to see a big dose of Ashton Genty against the Chargers Omarion Hampton should be back after his injury. Will he play? Who knows? Who knows? But that would be a great matchup, right? The first two running backs in the draft going head to head. One coming off injury, one coming off like he's got an injury. Actually, he did get hurt last week, so um, I don't know. We'll see with Chip Kelly, Raf. We'll see. Running the power scheme, our line sucks. Um, our line sucks at zone, and Brendan Carroll is such a bad offensive line coach. Run a power scheme would be great, man. That's kind of what I said all year. It's kind of what I've been wanting to see, right? You got guys that are physical. Other than, I mean, I think DJ Glaze is left on an island a lot, but he's left on an island with two choices. Which guy do I take? Now, sometimes he's just left by himself and he, gets his ass whooped over and over again. But um, I think guys like that, JPJ, I mean, Parham not as much. He's not as physical. I think he needs the help of the double team sometimes. Meredith probably the same. But Will Putnam, I think if he knows where he's going and who he's got to block, I feel like this young man could be better. I've watched a lot of his college tape. The kid is strong. He has skills. I think he just forgot him sitting on the practice squad for so long. I don't know. Uh, what else we got? Oh, I forgot I was going to take that off. All right. I put it up and we'll take it down. Question: will AOC or Pickett look this awful? Look this awful with the offensive line. Kenny Pickett is mobile, right? He can get out of the pocket. He can scramble. He's kind of like a Daniel Jones, like a Davis Mills type, right? He'll make plays with his legs. Um, the throws are kind of up and down, right? If you look at Kenny Pickett career, not a lot of touchdowns, but more interceptions, right? So um, I don't know about Kenny Pickett, man. I don't know if it was the system he was in, the players he was around, but he had George Pickens to throw the ball to. I mean, he had George Pickens, right? So I don't know about Kenny Pickett. Aiden O'Connell. You know how I feel about Aiden O'Connell. I think Aiden O'Connell would be under duress a lot. I think he would get hit a lot. I think he would probably get injured because he's, kind of fragile. And I know he's working on that. I know he's in the weight room. I know he's trying to change all that. But he is a little fragile. But he's willing to stand in there and take the shot. He's willing to take a hit and throw the ball down the field. He's not worried about getting smashed. He's worried about focusing on the receiver and getting the ball out. And on the other hand, he has a quick release, right? He has a quick drop. His drop step, he doesn't just take a 3-step drop or a 5-step drop. Usually he takes an 8-step drop and he gives his receivers a little bit more time. And, when you're under center and you take an 8-step drop, right? Guys are usually thinking you're taking a 5-step drop and they're going to start coming in this way, but then you keep going. So then they got to try to go out. It gives your, tackles a little bit more time. But he's very decisive at the line of the scrimmage. And I believe, Greg Olson is a genius sometimes. And I think he'd see that. And I think he'd have a better offense with AOC personally, because you can make the quick passes, right? You can throw receivers open. You can be decisive. You can, throw with anticipation, which means you're letting go of the ball before the receiver's at the top of his break or even starts his break sometimes. And AOC, we've seen do that, right? I haven't seen that from Gino, but maybe a couple times this year, but not very many at all. Um, so I think AOC could run the offense. I think Kenny Pickett could run the offense. But how much of the offense do they change, right? Do they take Chip Kelly's playbook and do what they did when AP took over the head coaching job and they made Bo Hart agree the quarterback coach. They made him the offensive coordinator. They took a playbook that was this big and they made it this big. So this to this. Um, they could do that. They could also go, with the playbook they have, you know, right now and just pick some plays out of it. Um, but we'll see, man. We'll see. The one good thing we do know is that Greg Olson is the quarterback coach, so he's in the quarterback room. He's in the offensive room, right? He does know the plays. He does know the system, and it's just basically what Pete Carroll lets him do. I think, which is going to be hard. Um, Rebel, who would be starting 5B with JPJ and Miller out? I mean, at this point right now in week 13, it would definitely be whoever the best center is. I mean, I would have to go with Meredith. I think he's shown, a lot better play, a lot better awareness of the center position, of the speed of the NFL, of the strength of the NFL, right? Playing guard, playing left guard, right guard, and now playing center most of the season. I would go with Meredith at center. I would, God, I would throw Charles Grant to the Wolves, but I wouldn't put him at left tackle. I'd put him at right tackle. I'd probably put, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'd put Dalton Wagner at one of the tackle spots. I think left tackle, he would get murdered. Um, I think Charles Grant's got a little bit more agility. I would try Charles Grant. I think I'd go Charles Grant. I'd keep, I would keep Parham. He is on his contract year. I think teams do need to see what he's got if the Raiders don't plan on bringing Dylan Parham back. So I would go Charles Grant. I'd go Dylan Parham. I'd go Jordan Meredith. And then I'd go Caleb Rogers and Dalton Wagner. And if that didn't work, I'd put Stone Forsythe on that side. And if that didn't work, I'd have to put DJ Glaze back in, and I'd put him to the left side and see if he can do better over there because he struggled on the right side. And you know, we got what 6 or 7 games left. This is 5 games left. This is the time, bro. This is the time to see what you have in this offensive line. So I'd mix it all up. I'd mix it all up, right? I wouldn't bring Colton Miller back. We'll talk about that a little bit more. There's been but we'll get to Colton Miller here. So yeah, that'd be my lineup. I'd put Charles Grant at the left side and be like, all right, young man, this is your opportunity. And I know he's from William and Mary. He's from a smaller school. If they don't feel comfortable with that, I mean, shit, what do we got to lose? Throw Dalton Wagner over there just to for a quarter. If he does well for the quarter, keep him in for another quarter, right? It can't hurt. It can't be better than that we have what we have, and it can't look uglier than this offense has looked at home for the last 2 weeks in a row, just getting dominated by grown men. I mean, it's not a good look. Not a good look. What is this asshole? What is your asshole? Bore out? How is it going with your day? What's good? What's good? Appreciate you. My day. What the hell is your name? Gatto. Let's go with Gatto. So many long names. We'll go with Gatto. My day is a night right now. I guess it's a morning, so it's been going all right. Appreciate you. Thanks for asking. Giants getting the number one pick. Why do you say that? You don't think the Giants can beat anybody on their schedule? Come on, man. When they get Jackson Dart back, that team is dangerous. And I don't know if they need a number one pick, right? They might want a number one pick. They got to get a new head coach to come in there, but I think any coach on the planet would want to take that job, and it would suck for John Gruden. You heard it here first. No, I'm just kidding. It would suck for a guy like John Gruden, who's been talked about in the conversation to go into New York Giants with a guy like Jackson Dart, because Jackson Dart is very, very big on John Gruden. John Gruden is very big on Jackson Dart. He loves that kid. If you didn't watch those videos before the combine and their interviews they did, go check them out. They were great. All the John Gruden videos are great, so go check them out. But there is talks of John Gruden going to, maybe being the Giants coach and taking the Giants head coaching job. So him with Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, and Cam Scatterboo would be filthy, bro. Filthiness. Pete sucks. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Stone left tackle. Glazed left guard. Parham center. Rogers right guard. Grant right tackle. See how the rookies do in the last 6 games. I mean, that could work, Arnie Garza. I kind of like it. But here's my thing. Stone Forsythe ain't a rookie. He got dominated. I mean, good lord. He got dominated. He got worked so bad. The man gave up 4 sacks, 8 or 9 pressures, 5 quarterback hits, and 2 fumbles. They don't get count on him, but he was the guy giving up the sacks when they fumbled, so they should count. Stone Forsythe should not be on the field, my guy. Um, and at this point, unless you're just trying to leave DJ Glaze there and you're trying to get a right guard in the draft, I mean, a right tackle in the draft, I don't think moving DJ Glaze to left guard um, when he's a right tackle, I think that would be a bad choice, right? Because he's used to blocking this way. I think that's a lot of a transition. I think DJ Glaze can handle it. But I think if you're going to move him a guard spot, I think right guard would be a better position for him. Um, and then center uh, with Parham at center. Parham has played center, and I think he looked, pretty damn good when what the hell is his name? Andrea James, Andre James. When Andre James, had his injuries, I thought Parham played pretty well at center. So we know what he can do at center. But being on his contract year, I wouldn't move him away from right guard. But maybe that will help him out, right? If the Raiders don't plan on keeping him, put him at center for a game or two, put him at left guard for or right guard for a game or two, just to let some NFL teams know, hey, this dude can play a bunch of positions. Um, and then as far as Grant at right tackle, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. Left tackle, right tackle for a game. I'd bounce him around, just to see what we got in him, even if it's not for a whole game. You see that too? What do you see? What you see? Let's start all the rookies. Second year players, we can't get another game. Let AOC or Pickett. Let's get Gino. Let's Gino be a backup. I agree, bro. I agree 1000%. I mean, I even want to see what we have in Kenny Pickett, right? I want to see what we have in Kenny Pickett because Kenny Pickett is a guy that you traded a 5th round pick for. And are we really just going to go into the season next year not knowing what we have in this man, right? What if somebody calls and says, hey, we'll trade you a 7th round pick for Kenny Pickett? And they'll be like, okay, we'll trade you a 7th round pick. And what if he goes there and turns out to play like the 1st round pick that he was? I mean, I don't think anybody would be disappointed. It would be just another fail from the Raiders organization. And if you've been a fan as long as I have for 50 damn years, you're used to it, right? So, um, but yeah, one of these guys need to start, bro. Like, it can't be Geno Smith. And all of you pray to God when you go, if you have a God, whatever your God is. If you don't have a God and you're an atheist, pray to the devil, Pray to whoever you pray to. I don't know what y'all do. But if you're a diehard Raiders fan and you bleed silver and black and you want this team to get better, anything possible could help us. So pray that Greg Olson has the grapefruits, the cojones, right? The balls to stand up to Pete Carroll because he's known him for a long time and maybe say, Pete, this ain't working, bro. This ain't working. The offensive line needs to change. We need to do some things. I can fix it if you let me. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But that's the only hope we got if you want to win. If you're like me, I hope Pete Carroll is still in charge. I hope he doesn't give Greg Olson any free reign and Pete just continues to bury himself. I love Pete Carroll, but what you've showed me with the Geno Smith experience and how long you've kept this man in there thinking that we're gonna win is just ruined it for me, bro. And there's no going back. I can't change my mind. If they won every game for the rest of the season, I would still want this man out of the building because of the Geno stuff, because of the favoritism, the no no accountability, pointing fingers, the scapegoats that he's let go, right? And I have some more things to talk about, so let me get to these damn questions and get to them. But um, what else we got? Question: is there a chance it could get worse under Olsen with Geno's offense? With Geno in the offensive line? No, no. There's not a chance that it can get worse. Worse than what? 10 points a game? 3 points a game? I mean, what could get worse? I don't think Greg Olson, being the quarterback coach of Geno Smith all year long, I think he knows probably Geno Smith better than Chip Kelly does, right? Chip Kelly strikes me as, God, I'm stuttering like Pete Carroll now over here. Um, you know, Chip Kelly strikes me as that dude that was, a little bit arrogant, like I've said before, and a lot of people have mentioned. It's kind of that I'm smarter than you, and if you don't believe me, I'm gonna make you look like a dumbass, so I look smarter than you, type of guy. And I don't think that kind of worked very well with Pete. So, um, but then again, you look at this offensive line, man, and you look at how bad the offensive line is. Every time I turn on the all 22, I get through about 4 plays and I'm like, it's embarrassing to even go up there and do game film for you guys because it's really that ugly. When you got your center, the only one going left when the rest of the team is going right, and your left guard is running into your center because they're going the wrong way, and your quarterback gets murdered and then gets booed out of the building. It's a problem, bro. It's a problem. So could it get worse, Arnie Garza? No. No, it can't. But you know it could be worse than it getting worse? It could possibly get good and make Geno look good. Kind of like they do every game by throwing the ball 42 times and then make sure his last 10 completions are a yard, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it looks like, damn, he did pretty good. He only, threw 15 incompletes, right? So it could be bad that it gets good. If it does get good, that means Pete Carroll might end up sticking around. And if that means Geno Smith will be sticking around, that means probably no quarterback in the first round. That means a pissed off Raider Nation. That means not people watching YouTube, right? That means it's bad for everybody. Bad for everybody. Who is Stone Forsythe or DJ Glaze? What? Who is better, Stone? Oh, who is better? I can't read, bro. My bad. I don't know. I think I'll say this: DJ Glaze has way more upside. I think they've both been completely awful this year, Arnie. To be honest, they've they've struggled. They've struggled bad in every single game. They've given up way too many pressures. They've given up way too many sacks. They've given up way too many quarterback hits. Neither one of them have been even backup material, really, to be honest with you. So it's kind of hard to say. If I had to pick, I'm picking DJ Glaze only because he was drafted to the Shield, and to me, I'm loyal to the core, right? And the core is the Shield. So if you're drafted to that, that's who I'm sticking with. Before I stick with any free agent or anybody brought into this team, I'm going that way. Um, hey, what about career? My ass, dude. What? Don't know, bro. I don't know. You're back? Sweet. Glad you're back. Appreciate you. What's up? Remember me from Sunday? Yes, I do. Appreciate you popping back in. Um, with Gino's disrespect of Raider Nation mean to the rest of the team? No factor important or just blame it on Gino. Wait, what? With Gino, disrespect of Raider Nation mean to the rest of the team? Question. No factor important or just blame it on Gino. Good lord, what happened? The dog was going crazy. Um, the disrespect from Gino, if you mean the flipping off, or Raider Nation. I mean, he's been doing it every single week in his press conference, right? 3 times a week, he gets up there, he talks shit about us making screenshots. He talks trash on how we don't know anything, how we're Monday morning quarterbacks. So it's got to be going bad, bro. It's got to rub the team wrong. It's got to be a factor. It has to be when your quarterback can get away with just horrible, horrible play. When your guy Kai Blue Kelly could get away with giving up more yards than anybody in the NFL and still be out there more than anybody else. The team sees that, bro. The team sees that. God Family Raider, what's good, my guy? I appreciate you in the building. It's been a minute. Rebel, what's your thoughts on riding with blaming on Gino next year? I told you, I've said this, bro. I've said this. I've said this. If if Geno Smith is the quarterback next year and Pete Carroll is the head coach, these YouTube channels will fuck. This YouTube channel will probably be a lot more about Lakers, wrestling, UFC, Dodgers, baseball, basketball. I don't know. Um, every football team but the Raiders. Like I can't get up here and find something to talk about without just disgracing my team every week if Pete Carroll and Gino are in the building. It's got to that point, just like it did with when Josh McDaniels was here, right? It got to that point where every week he was like, didn't know what he wanted to say. The press conferences were irritating, right? Rubbed everybody the wrong way with his cockiness and his attitude and the horrible decisions because he thought it was best for him, right? So I don't know, bro. I'm totally against it. I'm totally against it. It's gonna be hard for me, other than talking to y'all, because that's the only reason I do this shit, anyways. But what's there to talk about except for how bad we're gonna be, right? I don't think with the offensive line, Gino's gonna get any better. Nobody's gonna make Gino throw the ball to the right man. Nobody's gonna make Gino, you know, hit his target. Nobody's going to make Gino be able to read defenses, be decisive with the ball pre snap. Nobody can make Gino do that but Gino. And it hasn't happened his whole career. And I talked about it till I was throwing up in my mouth all off season about how bad Gino could be if he didn't have this, if he didn't have that. The Raiders have given him everything he's wanted. He's got Tyler Lockett. You know, they went with Alex Kappa. They changed the center for him, right? Because he wasn't happy with JPJ, who he worked out with the offseason. Do y'all really think Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly changing the center had to do with Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly? Has anybody thought that maybe Geno Smith did not like JPJ snapping the ball to him? Has anybody ever thought about that? Did it ever come to anybody's mind that, damn, maybe it wasn't Pete Carroll? Maybe it wasn't Chip Kelly. Maybe it's not Brennan Carroll. Maybe Geno Smith said, I don't like this dude. I don't want this dude snapping me the ball. I don't like the way he snaps it. I don't, whatever. I don't like the dude. I mean, I'm just speculating. But nobody's ever thought about that, right? We're quick to point the finger. Oh, it's got to be nepotism. It's got to be Brendan Carroll. It's got to be Chip Kelly. They got to hate JPJ. Maybe it's Geno Smith. Geno Smith has an attitude, right? Geno Smith coming out of the coming out of the stands. I posted it on my X account. Go check it out. Raiders Rebel underscore. I posted on my X account. Gorilla Rilla, a legend, right? A legend who dresses up as a gorilla to every home Raider game, was recording the players coming out of the tunnel. Everybody's high fiving. Everybody's high fiving, right? So whatever. I don't know how this works, but wherever I'm pointing, you're looking one way, right? The fans are all high fiving. Gino comes out, doesn't even look at the fans. Everybody's yelling, Gino, Gino, high five, Gino. He won't even turn around and acknowledge the reason why the dude has a job. There would be no NFL without the fans. And you just blatantly, arrogantly disrespect the hell out of the fans. So it's a pathetic look, bro. It's a pathetic look. Gino does not deserve to represent the silver and black. He does not deserve to wear the shield the way he's acted to the fans. We knew that when he acted at the high school game, telling everybody, "This is why I make the big bucks. That's why they bring the big bucks to me, ninja." Right, right. At a high school game, trying to fight with little kids or little kids' daddies. We knew what Gino was then, and everybody knew what Gino was before then. So if Gino comes back, bro, nah, nah. What God do you serve? Little dude. What you mean, bro? What you mean, bro? Are you talking about the professional sports teams? Something because you sound weird. Yeah, bro, we're talking football. It's on the title. It's in the description. If you would read shit before just scrolling through and clicking on stuff, you would know what you were popping into and what we were talking about. So appreciate you popping in. But yes, we are talking football. Um, fuck no, I'm not like they don't care about you. What? Great. You're not like me and they don't care about me. I don't give a shit. Um, he doesn't even know who you are. Shut up. What are you talking about, bro? You do realize you're ridiculous. How ridiculous you sound, right? You ridiculous you sound, bro. Any of these players will quickly switch sides for money, jackass. Well, no shit. They don't have a choice. when you get when you get traded, you don't get to pick if you want to go to the traded team or not. You're traded. You're under contract. So no shit. They will switch sides for money. Duh. Eat a Snickers, Brendan. Why are you so hungry? Right? Appreciate you, God and family. Um, how many more questions? Holy shit! All right, there's not so many more questions. Where else we got? Where the hell we go? All right, this one. Let me start this one. All right, so let's get back to the next topic before I forget about all these topics and just ramble all night. Um, so we talked about not much, right? But Antonio Pierce has said, if y'all don't know, now you know, that he had a deal worked out with Mark Davis and a deal in place for him to draft Shador Sanders in this year's draft had he not been fired. Now, he said this on television, right, in front of the whole world, that Mark Davis was down with the plan. They had it in place. Um, we all know AP thinks Tom had something to do with his firing and being letting go, and not Mark Davis. But he says Mark was in place with the Raiders taking Shador Sanders. That Shador Sanders would have never fell to the fifth round if AP was still the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders last year. So, with that coming out, Vinny Bonsignor came out and said he knows for a fact that a certain coach would have went with another quarterback. Want to know who that quarterback is? Stay tuned. We'll drop it. That's the last topic. Um, the next topic is Raiders ownership versus the Patriots ownership. There's a lot of problems, and they will not go away until the Raiders change something, right? The Patriots have laid a foundation with Bill Belichick, with Tom Brady, with Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, right? They won, what, six Super Bowls, whatever they won over there, six Super Bowls, I do believe, with that organization. They have a foundation where Belichick left, Josh McDaniels left. Everybody left. They tried to go with a guy in house. It didn't work out, or he didn't have enough time, obviously, because they had something else in plan. And that plan was Bill Belichick, not Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, who Mike Vrabel, you know, is part of that Patriot way, is part of that system, knows Josh McDaniels, knows Belichick, knows the way. But the problem is they have an owner that had already found that had a foundation, and he knew that bringing Vrabel in the building with a quarterback like Drake May, right, drafting a running back like Travion Henderson, having you know just needing that big receiver. They went out and got Stefan Diggs. They probably still need that number one guy. They went and spent a whole shit ton of money on defense and went and got Raiders like Robert Spillane, right? Caleb Von Chasen, who's having a career year. Uh, Guys like Marcus Epps, who I do believe they cut. I'm not sure if they brought back, but they went and got a lot of guys. I think they got one more guy over there that they got a little bit later. But the Patriots, they went and spent a lot of money. They have a foundation, right? They know that you could go from one coach to another, and after a year or two, you're right back on the top. The Raiders do not have that foundation. We have not had that foundation since the Madden days, since the Tom Flores days. It's been a long time. Possibly, when Reggie McKenzie was around, um, the Del Rio days, but they didn't last long enough. So stability has not been in the building. We have not had a coach that, you know, could retire or move on. And I think, and then still have somebody in the building that can take his place, like an offensive coordinator, like a defensive coach, like a tight end coach, right? And that's the difference between the ownership with the Patriots and the ownership with the Raiders and Mark Davis. They need to find that one guy, and I think they were reaching for the fences to believe that Pete Carroll was going to be that guy, right, with his knowledge and his background. And you still hear guys like JT and the Brick. You still hear guys like all these guys that are in the building. Hondo Carpenter talk about, oh, Pete Carroll just needs all the leadway. And maybe there are guys at the top like Tom Brady and Spytek that are like, no, don't play the rookies. They're not ready yet, right? Only play some of these younger guys, but don't get them hurt. Just get them adapted to the NFL. Maybe he does have some dudes pulling his strings, but I find that very hard to believe. Everywhere Pete Carroll has went, he has been that man. He has been the general manager and the head coach, and we know that has happened everywhere he has went. So throughout his career, why would it change with the Raiders? Why would you bring this man back, pay him $15 million if you did not have him running personnel, running, the draft, running who's in and out, running free agency, right? I think Pete Carroll has way too much leadway. And yes, it would have been great if it all worked out, right? If Gino worked out, if it hasn't been a horrible season where the fans are booing him at home, maybe it could have worked out if they started winning like he preached they were going to do. But that didn't go that way, right? We went the opposite way. We're worse than this team has ever been before. This is one of the worst coach teams that I've ever seen. And Pete Carroll is running out of people to blame. So I believe, again, I've said it 100,000 times, but it's time Raider Nation, it is time. Mark Davis, Tom Brady, Spytech, whoever watches this damn video, whoever sees it, it is time. I know Pete Carroll is that guy. And yes, he could possibly turn it around in the next 2 years. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's time to move on. There are going to be the next topic to talk about. A lot of coaches that are coming up. So, Robert Salah, right? Um, Mike McCarthy's still out there, right? You got the ball who just got fired. Um, there's a million head coaches out there. Chris Shula, a guy that I really like on defense, but we've brought in a defensive coach twice, and how has that worked out for us? We brought in an offensive coordinator, the best offensive coordinator mind in all of football. It didn't work out for us, and I'll tell you why at the end of this show and the last topic of the day. So, coaches wise, there's going to be a lot of good damn coaches in this coaching cycle, and the Raiders need to fire Pete Carroll now and get on board with starting to get the word out, of who they want in the building, seeing if they can get interviews with these guys, ask the other teams that these guys are on if they can talk to them early, right? Not talk to them, but just let them know, hey, will you take this interview or not? So they know who they're bringing in, who they're interviewing, and which way they're going. And they can't do that if they do not start, you know, right away with this coaching search. So I think it's time to move on from Pete Carroll. I think it's time to shit. I didn't know that was still up. My bad. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. I apologize. But yeah, so I think it's just time to call it quits with Pete. Um, the offense is horrible. Nothing has gone the right way. Right? It has been um, just chaos from the minute he's taken the building. I believe, his energy in the building, the chaotic, stupid clown shit circus that was going on all of the offseason, guys rolling around in big giant fucking balls and being stupid, dressing up in clown suits and donkey suits and whatever else stupid shit they were doing. It was just pathetic for a 40 something year coach to be out there doing all this clown shit in the off season. It was dumb. It didn't make no sense. And sometimes guys forget a lot of stuff when they get older. And Pete Carroll, again, I've said it a billion times, will probably knows more than most of us. Probably forgot more than most of us will ever know about football. But I just don't think it's working, man. I don't think it's working the right way. Um, and there's too many good coaches to miss on, right? Even if it does work, what do we do in 3 years? What if there's no coaches in 3 years? What if everybody hired on this coaching cycle, like some of the guys we've missed on the last two cycles, turn out to be those guys, right? What if they're the next coach like Mike Tomlin for the next 17 years of their franchise and the organization? Can the Raiders afford to miss on this? I say no. I say no. And if, you know, people in the building believe that Jim Gray is the problem, I think some negotiations and talks have to be dealt with there, right? Take some of the, shit away. I believe John Spytek is the man for the building. And we're going to get into the last topic here, and then I'm going to get off. I appreciate everybody in the building. But yeah, I'll get to answer questions in a minute. I have cancer. Can I get a Raiders win? Damn, that's messed up. If I could give you a Raiders win, I would, but I wish I wouldn't have read that chat because no, forget what the hell I'm talking about. The last topic is Tom Telesco. Tom Telesco might have saved the Las Vegas Raiders. And are we pushing Pete Carroll out too fast? I just talked about firing Pete Carroll, right? I gave all this big speech why I don't believe he should be in the building anymore. Um, so I talked about AP said he would have drafted Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders would have not made it to the fifth round, that he would have been drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. I said that Mark Davis and him supposedly had an agreement worked out. The organization was on board with bringing in Shador. Somehow it flip flopped the other way. He got fired. They went with Garbage Smith. I mean Geno Smith, um, and the Raiders get screwed again. However, Vinny B has came out in a report and said he knows for a fact that Tom Telesco was huge on Jackson Dart. There's some people I'd really like to smack the shit out of. Um, there are people that over exceed their power, that have the phone number to Mark Davis, that have the phone number to Tom Telesco, that have the phone number to people in this building, in this organization, and have the power to voice their opinion to and get people fired because they have hundreds of thousands of people that back them. And, that's what the nation wants. And hell, it's lost those guys like Rodney Hudson, Derek Carr, um, Devontae Adams, right? Hunter Renfro, Darren Waller. T- the list goes on and on of shit coaches. AP, um, you know, um, Tom Gable, uh, you know, every coach you can think of, Jermaine Illuminor, right? It's always time to move on from these players. It's always been time to move on from these coaches. And it's always been time to get rid of these guys, but they go somewhere else and they have the best years of their career. It was time to move on from Trayvon Morig. It was way too much money. It was time to move on from Robert Spillane because he couldn't coverage, which I said that too. Uh, it was time to move on from Divine Diablo because he couldn't tackle a mannequin in a department store. That was probably me also. But everybody pushes these narratives, right, over and over again, and constantly with the clickbait pushing the narratives of getting rid of these guys. One of the guys they got rid of after 1 year was Tom Telesco, and a lot of people weren't happy with Tom Telesco. Um, I wasn't happy with Tom Telesco because I felt like he was setting AP up for failure, right? But Tom Telesco said he was huge. Vinny B says Tom Telesco was huge on Jackson Dart. So huge on Jackson Dart that he spent his own money and bought a ticket to the bowl game with Jackson Dart, the last game of the season, right? To the playoff game, to go watch Jackson Dart one last time. And everybody knows he's a general manager of an NFL team. Do you really think you got to pay for a ticket? Nah, bro. You show up. They're like, yeah, we got a spot for you in the booth. Here, can we got your suite ready, right? You're good to go. Sit up here. Anything you want, it's catered, it's brought to you. No, Tom Telesco didn't want to be noticed. He didn't want people to know that he was scouting Jackson Dart. Um, Tom Telesco, another guy that really likes Bo Nix. Another guy that, brought in Justin Herbert to the Los Angeles Chargers. A guy that knows quarterbacks, obviously, right? He talked about he wanted Bo Nix. It wouldn't have been Michael Penix. He said he paid for his own ticket because he didn't want people to know. So he sat, close enough to see the game, watched the football game, and if Tom Telesco did not get fired because Raider Nation was too impatient, and I was part of that, for certain reasons and other reasons, I thought he did okay with the draft. Um, the Christian Wilkins thing, was here or there, paid way too much. It turned out to be bad. Yeah, it looks bad on Tom Telesco. But my point is this is Raider Nation will never be good. We will never be nothing and we will never overcome anything and get back to the glory days if we do not give people at least 3 years or a chance to prove that they can turn things around, that they can develop a system, that they can build a foundation, which we have lacked in this organization since Gruden left. And he never got a chance to build a foundation. He just had the forms out and was getting ready to pour the concrete, right? It was still on sand. So Am I saying keep Pete Carroll? Absolutely fucking not. Excuse my language. Absolutely not. I'm saying I think we have the general manager. If you look at the draft, he got the prototypical type quarterback. Yes, he didn't play for a big school, but all he did was win, 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 no matter what, right? Championship after championship after championship. All the young man did, and Cam Miller, was win, 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 win. All he knows is championships in college, right? He's mobile. He can make all the throws. He's a bigger body. So they drafted that guy in a later round. They have a second round and a fourth round receiver. That fourth round receiver is starting to look a lot better on his routes. How do I know? Because I watch film every single week. Even if I don't play film for you guys, I still watch the all 22 till my eyes bleed any second I get. I'm a lonely person and that's all I do. So I'm just saying. Um, so watching the all 22, right? Dante Thornton, his routes are getting better. They're crisper. They have a lot more, snap on the break. Um, and he's getting more separation from what I'm seeing. Jack Besh, I think his route running has been, pretty okay from the jump. He's created separation pretty much every time he's out there. They just don't throw him the ball. So you get two receivers for the future. You get a quarterback, possibly, maybe for the future. We don't know. If they draft one this year, I guess we'll never know what Cam Miller is because we don't know how to let people compete. So you have two receivers for the future. You have a quarterback for the future. You drafted two offensive linemen, possibly for the future, in the third round. If you draft guys in the third round, usually they should play in their first year. But if they don't play their first year, that just means they spend a whole year getting reps behind, not the whole year, but behind guys like Colton Miller, JPJ, even Alex Kappa, who's been in the NFL for a long, long time. These are valuable experience, reps in practice, and hopefully they get in the game and get some of those. But all I'm saying is Spytek's draft seemed to be pretty good, right? Cody Lindenberg. When Cody Lindenberg gets on the field, um, he got on the field late, I think, in the Dallas game. He made some plays, right? It looks like he's making some damn good tackles in the on special teams, right? This kid is out there. He's quick to the ball. He has a knack for the ball. He knows how to tackle, right? He's always in the right position most of the time. Not great in coverage, but he's getting there, right? He's getting there. So, Cody Lindenberg, we drafted a lot of guys that we haven't seen yet, and the Raider Nation is not giving them a chance, like Spytek, like Tom Telesco, who we possibly could have fired way too early. This guy, Jackson Dart, if he would have got Jackson Dart this year, it could have totally changed this franchise around this year, right? This year, it could have changed around if we would have just kept Tom Telesco. So, oh, damn, I don't know if those are dry or not, but I did run them most of the way. Um, So yeah, man, I think moving on from these guys are it's way too fast. But here's how we fix it, right? If we keep Tom Telesco, I mean not Tom Telesco, if we keep John Spytek in the building, which he's got a 5-year contract from what I hear, that's plenty of time. That's good. Keep Spytek for 5 years minimum, right? Keep him for 5 years. Let him do what he does. Raider Nation, you have to be patient with this guy because if he has a quarterback in mind, like Fernando Mendoza, like Ty Simpson, like Lenorius Sellers, maybe possibly next year, maybe a guy like um, Carr, right? No, not Derek Carr, but CJ Carr, possibly next year or the year after, right? Spytek and Spytek and Tom Brady might have the guy of the future in mind, and he might already be in the building. So be patient, but we can't keep letting content creators and um, people that haven't been part of the Raider Nation for more than 10 years and know there's no time limit of how long you got to be before you can start having a voice or doing stupid shit. But I'm just saying, people that haven't been, that bled with this team through the downtime, through the good years, through the bad years, back through the good one year, through the 20 bad years back to the one good year, right? If you haven't been around that long, you should not have enough power in the nation to keep fucking it up for this damn team. So if we just be patient, I believe that Spytek can point us in the right way. But we got to move on from Pete Carroll. We got to find that we got to find that new style coach, like a Chris Shula, you know, like a Mike LaFleur, a young 39, 40-year-old guy that's been in a Tom in a McVay system, right? Shanahan's system, some kind of system with some kind of tree, the Shula tree. I mean, we all know that tree in Miami. Like Chris Shula would be a great man for the job, and if you can get this young man to come in and build a staff and give him 5 years with Spytech, we are in the Super Bowl within the next 3 years. Mark my words. I love you all. Peace out. No, I'm just saying. I'll read these comments. But yeah, I went on my rant. I got everything I got to say out. Now I can read the rest. Eat a sticker, Brandon. Eat a Snickers. I got that. Sweet. Question of the starting five: who would stay on of any NFL roster? Um, that's a good question. That's a good question, Arnie Garza. Out of our starting five, Colton Miller would start on any team, I do believe. There's probably maybe five, maybe 10 teams that he wouldn't possibly start on. Um, JPJ, I believe, would start on a lot of teams in the NFL, probably at center more than likely. Um, Parham, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of teams that really need a center. And what I've seen from Parham at center, you know, I think he could be better than some of these good teams that are looking for a dominant center. There's a lot of teams that need a left guard or a right guard. There's a lot of teams that you know might have a guy that they're on the fringe with that they need somebody to compete with, and Parham might be better than what they have. So JPJ definitely, like I said, Colton Miller definitely, and Jordan Meredith last year was an 80 grade, right? And I know PFF grades is not the end all be all, but it's a starting point. Um, when you've only played 7 career starts and you moved around 2 different positions, talking about Jordan Meredith, and you're graded that high, I think you would get a starting chance and a start to compete on a lot of teams. So I think Meredith would start definitely at the left or right guard spot for a lot of teams, right? There's a lot of teams like I could think of, possibly the Panthers, the Tennessee Titans. I mean, um, shit, from maybe even the Browns, right? The Giant, I guess the Giants' offensive line is like 13th in the NFL, but uh, there's a couple teams. But I get what you're saying; they're not good. Hey, dude, love you, brother. Hey, I appreciate it. Love you too, man. Candy, live just crashed. Damn, that sucks. I was watching both yours and hers. Hey, you watch 2 lives at once, man. You got one in each ear. Where do you do lives? What do you mean? Where do I do lives? Sitting at a desk in the house. You mean what state? I am in the AR. In the AR. My freaking live stream crashed. Yeah, somebody just said that. How's it going, Rebel? How's your live? Well, it hasn't crashed. Just saying. Raider Nation 510. Yo, bro, you targeting the lower ranked QBs like Drew Aller, Lenora Sellis, or the hype train with Dante Moore and Ty Simpson. Um, I'm tired of being mediocre now. I think Lenora Sellers will probably stay in school for another year. You know, he's a dynamic kid with the ball in his hands. I wouldn't be mad at that. Um, Ty Simpson, I think, definitely needs more snaps. I don't know if he's up to the 30 games in the NFL type thing. So you need at least 30 games, man, in my opinion, for all these kids. Drew Alar, I really liked last year. I thought, not coming out of school last year, staying in school, not coming to the, not declaring to go to the NFL, I think really hurt his chances, right? Because he got hurt this year. But an off season of rehabilitation, he gets a head start on the rest of the guys entering the draft. He won't be as beat up at the combine. If he does get invited to the Senior Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl, Siesta, whatever the hell bowl, um, he won't be a beat up. So Drew Alar could surprise some people. He definitely has the arm. You know, he was mobile a little bit before the injury, as big as the guy is. He's not the fastest guy, but, he's got a little slipperiness to him. So it just depends on, I think where we're at in the draft. Um, if we're number one, I think it'll probably be Fernando Mendoza, man. If from what I see from Tom Brady, what I hear from Tom Brady, you know, if he heard Mendoza talk the other day about football and you watch the kid play, I think that's the number one prospect in all of the country. And when he wins the national championship, if his team is good enough, um, I think it's going to change a lot of things. So I'm either way, man. I'm either way. I don't know if the Raiders go quarterback this year, but if they do, um, I just hope they pick the right one, right? I think I'm not mad at Ty Simpson, Dante Moore. I think possibly possibly stay another year in school also. And if that happens, that would be great for the Raiders, right? We could go defense. Um, we could get a linebacker. We could get a top, nose tackle, or a three tech or a two tech or something that's gonna help this damn franchise, right? So I'm not sure really who I'm targeting, and the reason why I'm not big on the quarterbacks is because, again, like I said, I don't know who's gonna declare yet. We don't really know till what, December, who's gonna declare. So when that all happens, I will be full on the college train, and I could give you more information. But I just don't think quarterback is the way to go yet. I think if we do get a quarterback, if we do move on from Pete Carroll and a new offensive coordinator, I feel maybe possibly you have 1 year before you have, before you have to worry about his fifth year, option. And I don't want that to be the way, right? Um, I want the Raiders to be able to go get a quarterback and have him be the guy that can come in right away, like a Jackson Dart, like a Bo Nix, right? Um, like a Drake May, like a Caleb Williams, one of those type of dudes that could come in and start right away. And we can build this team for the next 3 or 4 years until that fifth year option is up. And then when the fifth year option is up, damn, you just pay that dude a whole bunch of money. You have a franchise that's already built, and you just start rolling, right? Victory after victory. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. So I hope they go that way. But yeah, are the Mendoza hype? I don't know. I like Mendoza, man. I think the kid is, some of the throws he makes are just ridiculous for his age. Like, not the fastest guy, not the greatest mobility. So if we're down for pocket passers, which really that's what the league has always been, and I think will continue to be. You look at guys like Lamar Jackson, right? People are saying Lamar Jackson is starting to lose it. He's starting to slow down. Um, he's not the quarterback he once was. But how long was he that quarterback? It took him 5 years, 6 years in the NFL before he became that dude. And now 2 years later, he's already starting to decline. That's what happens when you draft mobile guys that take a beating constantly. So I'm down with the pocket dudes. You can just come on and talk to your friends and just connect and ask them about the nation. I don't have fans, bro. I have a family. Fans. What you mean fans? Not famous. Uh, I mean, I know I can, but Gino doesn't deserve that. Um, Gino deserves 10 sacks a game for the rest of the year, plus the NFL interception record. What a ripoff. $60 million for what? All about the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, What's my favorite color? My favorite color is green. I like green. It's silver and black, but other than that, it's green, right? Money's green, trees are green, grass green, all the good stuff's green. I heard Gino got his nose broke because he owed someone money. Maybe he's throwing the games on purpose. Oh, now that's some crazy accusations, and that will not be tolerated on this show. We do not. I repeat, do not start accusations here. um, but part of it is a fact, right? Gino, supposedly, the rumors are maybe talk some shit to a linebacker or a D lineman. There's a bunch of different stories. Got his jaw broke. I heard that he owed a linebacker money that he had borrowed and wasn't paying it back. Which, if you're an NFL player and you owe somebody some money and you can't pay it back, you might have a problem. And I hope that problem's not a gambling problem because that could be a big, big problem in the long run. Um, so, just all speculations and rumors, but he did have a big jaw, and it did really happen. Just don't know how it happened or the way. Um, silver and black, baby. Silver and black, baby. Throwing games on purpose. How dare you make accusations about my quarterback would ever do that to the silver and black? He loves these fans. He loves the nation. He loves Las Vegas. Gino would never, ever do any such thing. How did we lose to the Cowboys? Well, my friend, we sucked. It's all I got. Why you got to bring up past games? I'm trying to move forward with my life from the past 12 games that I can't seem to get out of my head, and you got to bring it up. Um, George Pickens had one of the greatest games of his life. Dak Prescott was doing his thing. The defensive line acted like they were playing high school kids and you know just just picking bodies up and putting them where they wanted so the rest of the guys could come clean house. It was ugly. Totally to the ugh. We are ass in the fourth quarter, bro. Three fumbles. I mean, that's just a Geno thing, right? Like, I'm really surprised. Actually, I'm not even surprised. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that Geno Smith only has 4 or 5 fumbles this season. Last year, he had 9 with 15 turnovers. I mean, 9 fumbles with 15 interceptions. So for Geno, sorry, I keep leaving that shit up. I apologize. For Geno to only have, however many fumbles he has this year, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. At least he's cleaning up something. It's not the interceptions, but um, when you got Miles Garrett, bro, and you leave him unblocked 1-on-1 with Stone Forsythe, crazy. Am I Jewish? Yes. Yes. Milton, you can ask where to be traded except for the Raiders. Right? And Joe Milton, man, that kid could end up having one hell of an NFL career. He has the craziest arm. He's learning from, Dak Prescott, which a lot of people give a lot of bad rap to. And I said 2 years ago when the Cowboys were talking about trading that that I would never pay $40 million for a Dak Prescott. But after seeing Geno for 33 or 6 or whatever it is, I would give Dak Prescott 50 um, just to not have Geno if I could. Shout out for the $5 smackaroo. Appreciate you. Raiders. Elliot Wolf should be the Raiders GM right now. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I think Spytech might have something cooking though. Um, SYBAU. Why did you people type the same stupid shit? There's a booger on my glasses. That's fucked up. Thanks to all the veterans. Shout out to all the veterans. D Web in the building. Vanilla Ice Ice Baby. I am Vanilla Ice, bro. And I'm back. Collaborate and listen. Because I'm back with a brand new invention. Something. Grab a hold of me tightly. Flow like a hawk. Daily. No, I'm just kidding. I know it'll end in a bit. I'm gonna leave it the f alone. Okay. Says what you say. A golfer Ryan's. What the hell? Lane Kiffin, Clint Kubiak, Zach Robinson, to name a few. Um, I think Lane Kiffin. I don't know if he's gonna go back to the NFL. I think more probably a Florida job or an LSU job if he decides to leave. But I don't really see him going nowhere from Old Miss if he hasn't left already. Um, but he's definitely a possibility down the future. And I don't know why teams aren't blowing him up, really. For what Lane Kiffin has done, with his time with the Raiders, getting fired, on the Telecaster, whatever. Probably not the greatest experience of his life. But since then, the man has been just insane. Clint Kubiak, he's already an offensive coordinator, so you'd have to make him a head coach, right? He'd have to be a different, higher position, which would have to be a head coach. I wouldn't be mad at it. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, didn't he struggle over there with the Saints, right? I don't know about Coobs. Zach Robinson, you know, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I really like Michael Floor, man. I think Michael Floor and Chris Shula really need to be top names on the list. I really like Vance Joseph. I like Brian Flores, kind of. I wouldn't be mad at Clint Kubiak though. That offense for Seattle is tearing it up right now. But how is he going to be as a head coach, right? Like you're a Broncos, nice. Holy spam, nice. Who's spamming? I have cancer. I'll never get to see the Raiders win. That's fucked up. Um, Zach Robinson is a dark horse candidate. Dark horse candidates could always come out to be those guys, right? Like not too many people were big on Matt LaFleur when he got hired with the Green Bay Packers, right? Not many people thought Brian Schottenheimer was going to come do what he's doing in Dallas right now, right? A lot of people overlooked Schottenheimer. I was like, bro, I'll take Schottenheimer just because of his name, right? When you have a name like that, Clint Kubiak, Schottenheimer, Shula, right? Man, these guys have been around the business for a long, long time. And if they have problems, they have somebody to call and lean on, right? To help. Um, it's a 15-year rebuild. Raiders suck. It's actually been like a 25-year rebuild, but it's not a rebuild. It's a restretch. It's a restretch. Your wife queefed in your face. Now you have cancer. I don't think you get cancer from being a Queefs fan, bro. Um, Telesco set the Raiders up for success. I mean, if you look at Brock Bowers and JPJ, DJ Glaze, Camarion Richardson, who is killing me that this young man is not on the damn grass. Um, Another reason why those drinks are fire. Yeah, I love these drinks, man. That's all I drink. This damn orange one, orange pineapple or mango, whatever the hell it is. I used to be a Dr. Pepper freak. I drink like 1,000 a day, but now I drink all of is those. So yeah, I wish they'd sponsor me. But yeah, man, I think Tom Telesco, he did kind of set us up for success, and I think a lot of people were a lot harder on Tom Telesco than we should have been. You can't, Rome wasn't built in a day, so they say, right? Like, you can come in and turn in a bad organization overnight, but those organizations had to have made damn good drafts for at least the last 3 years, right? If you have three good drafts, first round nail, second round nail, third round possible starters out of, fourth round a guy here or there that spot starter, damn good backup, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round, right? Guys that play and contribute. If you hit like that 3 years in a row, and you do well in free agency and you have a good coaching staff with a good upper management, you could turn a franchise around overnight, you know, in a year or a year and a half. But you have to have all those things in place, and we just don't. We don't. Israel or Palestine, choose. Why would I have to choose? Why would I choose? I'm an American, bro. I don't know anything about those countries. Too many people in Davis's ear. 100% Raider Nation. 100%. You hit it right on the head, bro. I just want to show some love and some motivation words. People care for you, people think about you, and people love you. Keep going. Appreciate it. That's very inspiring. Very inspiring. Thank you so very much for those kind, kind, kind words. Rebel, you on? Yeah, I'm on. I'm on. Did you see the super chat? Yes. Did you hear me talk about it? Probably not. Shout out for the $5 holla if you didn't. Why does it sound like somebody died down there? um, shit, I forgot my spot. Raiders, Raider Paul in the building. What's good, my guy? About ready for this long ass season to be over. There is no team. there's no I in team. Think Raider, Unleashed Raiders since the Super what? Weird question. Do you draw the line at eating mammals? Would you try dog? If it were what ethically sourced? Like, I mean, nah, bro. Why would I eat dogs? Man's best friend. Like, that's like eating a human being, right? Cows have never been named as man's best friend. A chicken is too damn stupid. Its head's this big, bro. Not man's best friend, right? I've ate shit like squirrel. I've ate, deer, rabbit. I've eaten a lot of things. Dog is not on my list. Although I did work with a guy one time that was from the Philippines that brought some food and he put it in a microwave. And that shit stunk so bad. We worked in a paint thing while I was like 15, 16 years old. I used to paint chandeliers for a chandelier company at nighttime, and the shit stunk up the damn whole entire building so bad. I had to go outside. I couldn't breathe. It was bad. I was like, "What the hell, bro? I think that meat is no good. Like, I don't know what you're cooking, but I would not eat that, bro. It smells horrible." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Bro, whatever you're eating." So he pulls this shit out the microwave, and it was, oh god, it stunk so bad. I really wanted to throw up. But anyways, to make a long story short, he comes out and he's like, "Damn, bro, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What is that shit?" The dude said it was cat meat. Now he could have been joking. I don't know. I don't know if people from other countries eat shit like that, but it smelled absolutely horrible. So to answer your question, probably not, bro. I mean, If I didn't die from it and I was starving to death and it was a form of survival, I mean, shit, you're gonna eat anything, right? Hey, Rebel, good to see you. Love your channel. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you. I seen you last night too. Thanks for coming back in. Appreciate it. Um, why can't you poop? I don't know, bro. Sounds like you need to go to the doctor. Maybe you're stuffed up. I don't know. Maybe stop eating so many brownies, chocolate. I don't know, bro. Shout out for the $2 smackaroozy. Appreciate you. Are you live? Yes. You matter. You loves. Keep going. This is the Father above who loves you and protects you. I appreciate that. Why is everybody coming in and acting like you're saying my eulogy, like I'm about to die or some shit? But thank you. I appreciate you for all the love, all the kind words. Bill Romanowski is the most badass defensive lineman of all time on the field. We need more criminals playing ball. Yes, yes. I love it. Yes, yes. Bill Romanowski was a badass, and you need thugs like that, right? Um, you need thugs that have that, thug ass murder row mentality on the football field, right? How you think Ray Lewis survived so long? How you think guys like Ronnie Lott survived so long? Lyle Alzado, Bill Romanowski, you know, yeah, I agree 100%. Great comment. I love it. Absolutely. Bill Romanowski wasn't with the Raiders long, but he was one of my favorite, still my favorite. That dude did not take shit from nobody. And I wish Max Crosby was a little bit more like that, right? People up in his face talking shit. Bill Romanowski would have, bow, would have beat the shit out of somebody trying to talk shit to him. And maybe the Raiders need to get back to that, right? Maybe we need to take some games off and get kicked out for a game just to let people know the Raiders are back and don't you come in here trying to fuck with us no more because we ain't putting up with it. That would be great. I would love it. I have a computer and a phone. LOL. Nice, nice. Balling over there. Oh, you're so funny. Haha. Stream didn't crash. What? Take the chat off the screen. Rebel is on the right in front of the screen. I did already. Did already. Um, when was the last time I played? When was the last time I played what? Football? Oh my god, bro. It was a long time ago. It's a very long time ago. For fun, I mean, a couple years, but for anything that meant anything, right? A long time ago. A long time ago. Um, when you say you were, I didn't see you on the field. How could you miss me, bro? How could you miss me? You guys are douchebags. Goodbye. Okay. That must have been shout out to Geno Smith, everybody. Goodbye, Geno. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Hey man, at least you're not a Cowboys fan. I mean, yeah, that's one good thing, right? It's one good thing. Appreciate you popping in. Team is the best. This team is the best. You know what I mean. Hey douchebag, I play the game. I don't watch, especially this Thanksgiving. We always do it. Okay, where do you play? What position do you play? What team do you play for? Brandon Lowry. Are you the Brandon Lowry? Stop playing. Stop playing. You want to come on talk ball? Come on talk ball, bro. I'll drop a link. Come let the world know who you are. Don't talk about it. Bees about it. Why would I say Elijah? I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that it could possibly be happening. I know, man. Are you ignoring me? No, I just have like 500 billion chats in here, and I have a live stream. I had topics I was talking about. Then when I talk about my topics, then I go back and read everybody's comments. So if you're still in here and you get your comment read, cool. If you don't, I apologize. If you don't like it, well, fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know. We lost because we have Gino as a quarterback. That's not the main reason, though. No, it's just behind him. He's ignoring you. It takes him a little time to get to the ball. I just said that. Fuck. Oh, the world can be noisy. Huh. But the warmth you carry is rare. Don't lose it. You have a way of making people feel seen. Nice. Never underestimate that give. Shout out an anti Dick's birthday. Anita, what? Anti Anita Dick's birthday. Shout out Anita Dix. Shout out Anita Dix. People are so funny, bro. Did it make your day? Did it make your day? Did I say you need a dick? Clowns, bro. Donated $25. Thank you very much. I don't know where you donated to, but I didn't get it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, what Raiders need to? What Raiders do you guys hate the most? Fallout 3 probably has the worst Raiders of any Fallout game. Are we talking about a video game Fallout? Bro, I'm lost. Have the Raiders even beat anyone relevant? Um, I don't know what you mean by relevant. I don't know what you mean by relevant. Um, we started out the season. We beat the New England Patriots, who are 10-2. One of those losses are the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, it really didn't matter to them. Didn't matter to us. So I don't know if it's relevant, but it happened. Raider Paul says Mendoza. Yes, I like Mendoza. Joel LR, I think could be one of those sleepers, like I said, that you know makes a flash when it all comes together. You said a chicken is too stupid, but he wasn't joking. The cat probably no, I was not joking, bro. I don't sit up here and tell stories. I tell facts, and I give my opinion. So no, I was not joking about the cat story. It is absolutely fact. Dude from the Philippines, great guy. But anytime he put food in the microwave, I started going outside. I'm not gonna lie. It took 20 minutes of people still spray painting to get rid of the smell. It's very very bad. It's very bad. It's not good. Oh my god, you were supposed to read that. Read what? What am I supposed to read? Oh, I know what I'm reading, bro. You don't think I know what I'm reading? God, sometimes you just got to make somebody's day, right? Probably a little kid over there rolling on his bed. Oh my God, he said it. He said it. uh, but it is what it is, man. We are rolling up on 2 minutes. I shot up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the 5 people in here. I said everything I needed to say. I got everything out. Um, so the Raiders have some crucial decisions, and one is they have to make a decision of who the hell is in charge in the building. Is it going to be the general manager? Are they going to fire Pete Carroll? Are they going to bring in a general manager and let him pick his head coach for the next 4 years? Because this year is over. We already wasted a year of Spytek's 5-year contract. We've already wasted a year of Ashton Genty's um, rookie year, sixth overall pick. We are already on the process of wasting 2 years of Brock Bowers, and time is running out for the nation. It is running out for this fan base to keep giving a shit about what we are putting on the field. So Mark Davis, Tom Brady, John Spytek, and everybody else at the Raiders organization. I will make sure I tag everybody in this. Y'all probably don't give a shit anyways. Y'all got your money. But We need a change, bro. We demand as a fan base to see the product on the field of the rookies that we drafted so we know Spytech, right, is leading us in the direction that we need to go because Pete Carroll is not doing it. So I appreciate everybody, love one another, be kind to one another, don't talk shit about people unless it's Geno Smith. Love y'all. Peace. Raiders. Just fix it, baby. Just fix it.